Hey everyone, Vanessa Simpkins here from TakeYourPowerBackNow.com, and vulnerable and honest share with you right now. I feel kind of deflated, and I want to share with you what I learned from going on TV this morning, live TV, and I messed up. Instead of following my intuition, instead of really sharing from the heart my story, I went with kind of a scripted thing that I was trained, this is what you do. You stick to your, kind of your pitch or your questionnaire, and the producers were not happy with it. And honestly, if I look at that, it doesn't really connect either with, a woman who's been through sexual assault. So feeling deflated, and I feel like I also really want to share with, I owe the viewers, I owe all of you, a real not an explanation, but the real story. So I'm going to share that with you now. And, 5 years ago, I went through an experience. An ex-boyfriend threw me across a hotel room one night in a drunken rage because I wouldn't have sex with him on his birthday. And I opened my eyes, and I was 2 inches from a plate glass window, and I thought to myself, 2 more inches, and that could have been the end of me. I could have died. And it was a really big wake-up call. And this person had not been abusive with me, physically abusive before, but that was one time, that was all I needed. And I got to the taxi, and I thought to myself, how did I become another statistic that you read about in the newspapers of battered women? And that was a point where I made a decision in my life to heal every area in my life. I made a decision to heal every single area in my life that I was avoiding because of fear. I was afraid, that I wouldn't find a better relationship. So I stayed. I went back in and out, these loops for 8 years. I was afraid of leaving a job to start my career because I was afraid I wouldn't be good enough. I wouldn't make as much money in my career as I would, in this job that was very safe, but that was, really just sucking the life out of me. It was definitely not my purpose, and I stayed because I was afraid. And so the first thing I did was I did a radical honesty look at my life. Radical honest look at all of the areas that I was not willing to make decisions and plans about because of fear. I was avoiding, I was procrastinating doing something about it. Radical honesty is step number 1. The second thing I did was I became, I took radical responsibility for those areas, and I started healing the energy leaks. And what do I mean by that? I had something on my shoulder. I had an operation that I needed to get for years. I had this fat bubble on my shoulder, and I would kind of hide it with my hair. And every time I would look at myself in the mirror, I would have this like, ugh, it's so ugly kind of look at myself. And that was the conversation. That was the, regular conversation I was having with myself every day. And I, radical responsibility, I made the appointment, saw the surgeon, got it taken care of. The next thing I did was I invested in myself, and I did a business program, and I learned how to do an online marketing, and I did a telesummit, and boom, I launched my business and really started, serving people with inspiration, with wisdom. And I launched my business. I invested in myself. I invested in a mentor. I got help. I found out somebody who was doing what I wanted to do, and I paid them, and they taught me, and I learned, and I did it. I made a plan. I made a decision. I made a plan. I took action. I got results. And the third area of my life, the third thing I did was I did a radical self-love challenge, I lost myself. I got so lost in this relationship. I didn't even know who I was anymore. And I said, okay, Vanessa, what are the things that you really love to do? I love dancing. I love horseback riding. I love inspiring people. So boom, I went and started doing these Zumba classes down the street. I joined this community of new people, and it was so much fun. I felt so sexy and alive. And I just remember coming back into my body and just having fun again, doing simple things that I love to do. And I went and found a barn down the street I could bicycle to up north in the Laurentians, and I started horseback riding and, just being with these furry friends again that I loved, and all the horses and the dogs and the cats and the little ponies and the goats and all these being outside in nature, and I made time for those things. I made those things a priority in my life. And, I started doing a lot of deep inner healing, you know, looking at all of the beliefs and all of the programs and all of the false ideas and all of the negative stories that I was believing that were keeping me creating this, you know, this turmoil in my life, creating these non-loving experiences. And that's when things started to change. So radical, honest look at your life, radical responsibility, you know, your power, when you take your power back, whether it's from an abusive relationship, a job where you're not feeling fulfilled, you're not being appreciated. Most women, most people stay because of fear, because they don't understand the mechanics of how to create life. And it happens with a decision. I really want to emphasize this. It's a decision that's going to change your life. And most people are putting the decision outside of themselves. They're giving their power away to society, to the weather, to the environment, to their spouses. I can't do this because I don't know enough. I'm not ready yet. Who's going to believe me? You know, it's just a decision. I'm going to do something or I'm not going to do something. It's simple to do. It's simple not to do. But that's really where your power is in a decision. And following that decision is to make a plan, write down how you intend to do certain thing. And then, you know, part of it is visualizing. See the goal completed. Feel what that would feel like. And, you know, then watch the stories that are coming up, because they will come up. Your mind, your ego will try and protect you using fear and not believe those, you know, to take the action anyways, to prove to yourself that your higher power, your source, your spirit, whatever that is that's been knocking on your door, is really to empower you. It's there to show you, hey, this is the way, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Follow that, answer that, trust that. And, you know, prove to yourself that you really are so supported and taken care of, right? When you show up and say yes, when you honor that, you know, that knocking from source or spirit or God or higher power or, you know, whatever you want to call that. So that's my message for you today. Vulnerable share here. And I want to encourage all of you, you know, no matter where you're at, no matter how far down you've gone, you know, there is always something to learn, even when you're where I'm at, you know, with best-selling books. I'm still learning. I'm learning about how to be authentic and real on TV. I'm learning how to still, you know, take it to the next level and really be honest with myself and others. That's, I think, been one of my biggest lessons in this world. It continues to be one. And there's, you know, there's always more to learn. So you can never fail. You really just continue learning and continue moving forward, and you get better at it, you know, and that's my message for you today. I thank you for watching this very long video. I will end it now and send you loads of love. And again, I'm here in Connecticut if you want to come by the Marriott Residence Inn. I will be doing book signing and chatting with you. All right. Loads of love, guys.